over your children. You will not mourn your children. Your children will not cry or weep over you. And my mother will always say that, "Masi, they be terror to me, and so shall it be for you guys. You will be there. When your children are celebrating marriages, graduation, you will not be found wanting. Hallelujah. Today I want to talk to us about a good name. A good name. The Bible passage that was read to us today is Proverbs 22:1. If you have your Bible to that verse, it says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. So what do you think when you think about a good name? A good name, what comes to mind when you think about when you say something? It's like that person has a good name. It's not about what the name sounds like. You know, these days people name their children Bella and all these things because of the sound of it. But do you really know what it means? So a good name is basically your status, the status of your name. What connotation does your name have? When you mention your name, when your name is mentioned, what transpires in people's mind? What emotion is invoked when your name is called? Does somebody pray for you and say, that man, I remember that man so much. Oh my God, he was such a good man. You know, my father was not around. He did this, he did that. Or do people send curses to you and say, no, you know, you've heard those things before. But it's basically about what you've done. It's about what you've done to that person and how you've impacted that person's life. So, think about a good name. What's the status of your name? Is it good? Is it bad? Are people praying for you or are they cursing you? As a man, I mean, it goes both ways, even for everyone. It's a general thing. But today, because we want to point fingers at the men, it's Father's Day. So as a man, what comes to mind when your children even think about you? Do they look up to you? Do they want to be like you one day? Do they aspire to be you? Do you motivate them to work harder, to do better? So and even other people around you, your siblings, your peers, how do you impact them? You know, what would they say about you even when you're long gone? What legacy would you leave behind? Also, what does your name imply? And it's not just your first name or your last name. I remember I met a doctor. He was, well-crafted, skilled man. And he was high in the hospital. You know, if you call his name, everybody knew him. So somebody referred me to him. And when he heard my name, he's like, "Oh, you're Nigerian, right?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, I work with a certain Nigerian man. His name is blah, blah, blah." And he just started talking. It seemed like he had met a few Nigerians. So I said, "Oh," and he's like, "Nigerians are very smart." And he's like, "I bet you're very smart at that name." I don't know what. But he related with me because of the experience he had with a Nigerian. He related with me because that person was nice to him, and so he opened the door for me. He allowed me, it could have been just a professional meeting. Why was I there? And that was it. But he didn't do that. He talked about my family. He asked about my family. And when I was leaving, he gave me his number. He's like, "If you need something, call me." Blah. I was feeling so privileged. But I didn't know this person, and I was enjoying, the fact that I was enjoying his name or, what he had done for that guy. So it's the same way. Even people you don't know can enjoy or enjoy your name, whether or not they're related to you. So when you talk about a good name, what's a good name about? What is it really all about? Are you held in high esteem? Are you respected amongst people? Do people fear you? Do people love you? What's your reputation? What do you stand for? What's your character? Do you have morals? Do you have ethics as a man at work? People look at you and say, "We want to do something funny at work today. Let's go to this guy. He will know how to help us out because they know you're not straightforward." Or are you that person where if somebody wants to do something bad, they'll be like, don't go to him because he's not even going to take that from you. He wouldn't tolerate it. He's not that kind of person. So do you have morals? Do you have ethics? Apart from being here, being in the church, and we all, have a certain way we behave at certain places, what do people think about you outside of this place? So what is the verse really saying? What is Proverbs 22 really saying to us? It's not saying that we shouldn't pursue riches. It's not saying that silver and gold and diamonds are not good. It's not saying that you shouldn't pursue wealth. It's saying, while you're doing all this, are you maintaining your integrity as a man of God? People know you that you come to church. People know you that you're Christian, you're religious. But do you maintain integrity wherever you go? Do you allow God's word to direct your path, to direct your ways and the things that you do? So let's take a look at, let's think about Judas for an example. Judas, if you hear the name of Judas, what comes to mind? Somebody who betrays you. He wasn't straightforward. Yes, so he wasn't a straightforward person. And I don't think anyone would name their child Judas, or Iscariot for that matter. So it's because of what he's done. It's because of what we know him as, what we read. And he chose riches, he chose silver over, instead of, he was a disciple. In order for you to be a disciple of God, there were certain characteristics that he had. And people looked at him as a disciple, and God called them his apostles. So there are certain characteristics that he had to have at that time. But instead of that, he chose silver. And unfortunately for him, his silver was used to buy the land where he was buried. So, but through him, Jesus was crucified. But God rose up 3 days later, and is that name that we still call today, is that name that's a strong tower that we all run to and we receive our salvation, we receive our healing. So, but what can you read about him? What are the feelings you think about when you think about Judas? So, in all you do as a man, you have to remember that everything you do is being recorded. Everything you do has consequences. Your actions has consequences. The things you say have consequences. People are looking at you. People already know you by what you do, how you act. If somebody comes to, some people know if you're talkative, nobody wants to tell you their business because they think, oh, well, we don't see anybody tomorrow. So, or if you're somebody who was a womanizer, and people know you, especially if you're a single man and you womanize, and a single woman sees you, she's not going to be interested in you because she wants a home. She doesn't want a woman she doesn't want a man that she has to worry about every step he takes. So it's your character, your integrity. If somebody can open to Proverbs 19:1. Even the Bible talks about being a person of integrity. If somebody can just read Proverbs 19:1 for me.
Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity, than he that is preserved in his lips, and is a fool blinded.
So basically, God prefers you to be. It's saying that even if you're poor, even if you don't have it, you don't have to cut corners. You don't have to bend. You don't have to say, oh, well, it's only a one-time thing. Let's just, let me do it. You have to always maintain your integrity as a man of God, as a humble man. So people have to know you. People have to trust you for what you stand for. So when we look at the case of Judah, it's definitely not a good name. And it's because of the things that he had done in the past. Let's also look at Joseph, for instance. Joseph is a name that's so common. Everybody names their child Joseph. But there's a reason behind why you name your child Joseph. You read about Joseph. Joseph stayed through. He stayed true. Despite everything that he went through, his brother sold him. into Egypt, and even then, God was with him. God stayed with him through Egypt, and he went to Pharaoh through his dreams and through what God had deposited in his life. So we all have talents. We all have things that can help us. That can help us make it in life. It's deposited in us. We just have to find it. So Joseph did not cut corners. Even when Potiphar's wife came onto him, he didn't. In order for Potiphar made him overseers of everything that he owned. So Potiphar trusted him. He had characters in him that made him trustworthy. That made him rely. That made Potiphar rely on him, and that's why he made him overseer of his house. And so when his wife came to him, he didn't go for it. He maintained the kind of person he was. His integrity. He didn't go back and say, "Oh well, we can do it one time. This one time won't hurt anything." But he stayed true, and he made his ways. He followed God's will. His ways pleased God, and God continued to bless him. And his ability to interpret dreams helped him. So eventually, he was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream, and through then, he was promoted. And even when his brothers came back, these same brothers that sold him, he took them with love. He didn't say, because of what you've done to me in the past, and, let people slay him, because he had the power to do that. But that would have been written concerning him as well. That would have smeared his character if he had done that. So, while you're going through trials, while you're going through tribulations, through your ups, your downs, through your highs and your lows, you need to remember the name and what you stand for. What you stand for as a man. You have to remember that you have children as well. When we have children, we name them after you. I can give her the first name, but your last name will always remain with that child. Most especially the boys anyway. So you have to remember that your name and your character says a lot about who you are. And it can also open doors for your children, so as closed doors, not only for you. If you think about all these men of God that we talk about, the God of Abiara and the God of Isaac and all this, the God of Adeboye, it's because of what Adeboye is doing, because of what Adeboye is, or what he stands for, and the God of Babalola. And I can imagine his children enjoying, his great grandchildren still enjoying his grace, because they're associated with him because of what he has done in the past. So even when you leave, even when you're long gone, what are people going to be saying about you? What are the things that people will be saying that you did? How would you have impacted other people's lives? So Joseph is definitely a person that we look up to, because he was a man of character. If you also look at the case of Jonathan and Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth was when we talk about not being a good example for people, and a name that you tarnish when you're here. You don't want to tarnish your name while you're, wherever you go, at work, whoever you meet, because you don't know where you're going to meet people, and you don't know who God is going to use for you. If I want to say something about our evangelist Akilososo, I've known him since his boy was living here, since Toby was like maybe 2, right? I've known him for that long, and he's like an uncle to me, but I'm sure he didn't know that we were going to meet here and how we were going to meet. And he was a nice man to me. I knew him when I was young. I was in my teenage years, going to college, and I have good memories of him. He was the deacon in the church at the time. He would preach and he would talk to you. He was just a nice person. So several years later, my husband, I wasn't here at the time. I was living out of state, and my husband was saying to me that, who came to church today? Who's now a member of the church? And he said, it was Akilososo, because he knew I had known him. I was like, oh, okay, wow, okay, that's good. But can you imagine if you had done something bad to me at the time? I would have been like, you don't want him in that church. Let let me tell you what he did. Let me tell you what I remember of him. So you have to be careful not to smear or tarnish your image and what people know you, what people think of you. So let's look at why a good name is better than riches. A good name can bring favor, just like it says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. So good names can bring favor to you, and not only you, your children as well. Even when you're not there, people will favor you because of what they remember of you. People will favor your children because of what they remember of you, because of what you've done for them. People will also love you if they know that you're a man of standard, you're a man of character, you're a good man, you're a humble man, a trustworthy person. If you have mercy, you're a charitable person, you give, you're selfless, you love unconditionally. And love is also an important part of this. Because when you love somebody, you favor them, right? You don't look at the blemish. You just favor them either way. So when people love you, you receive favor. And when people love you, your children will also enjoy from it. People who are associated with you would also enjoy from that love and that favor. And you can imagine also, without love, nobody wants to live without love. If you're not loved, it's like a desolate life, a lonely life, and all your riches will not, make you happy. Those riches are temporary; they can be here today and go tomorrow. So let's see the part where I was talking about Matthew Bosheth, how he enjoyed favor. If somebody can open up book of Samuel, 2 Samuel 21. 1 through 9. 2 Samuel 21, 1 through 9.
Then there was a famine in the day of David 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of the Lord. And the Lord answered, Is it for Saul and for his bloody house? Because he slew the Gibeonites. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Israel are sworn unto them. And Saul sought to slay them in his hill to the children of Israel and Judah. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? And the Gibeonites said unto him, We will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for all shall thou give any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, that will I do. What ye shall say, that will I do for you. And they answered the king, and the man that consumed us, and that devised against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the cars of Israel, coast of Israel. Let 7 men of his son be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeon of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rehab, and daughter of Ahaz, whom she bare unto Saul, Ammoni, and Mephibosheth, and the 5 children of Micah, and daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adra, the son of Bazilia, and Meholanite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord, and they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the day in the days of harvest, in the first day, in the beginning of barley harvest.
Amen. So through that passage, it comes all the way from 1 Samuel up to this. If you want to know about the Gibeonites, you can go to 1 Samuel. But basically, it's saying how Mephibosheth enjoyed favor because of what his father Jonathan had done. You know, Jonathan was the son of Saul, and Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan. So because of what Jonathan had done, you know, Jonathan he loved David, and even when his father Saul tried to slew David, he would always help him out. He would reveal his father's secret and things like that. So there was an understanding between him and David. So, but David remembered those things that he had done for him. David remembered what his father had done. So even when the Gibeonites had asked for the lives of 7 men in Saul's household, David spared Mephibosheth because of what his father had done. So when we talk about what a good name can do, a good name can bring favor unto you and unto those who are associated with you, and even your children after you're long gone. A good name also creates trust. You know, like I said, when people already know you, when people know you as a man of character, they trust you, and it's easy to have a good relationship with people when they trust you. When there's trust between you and someone, they can relate to you, they can tell you things. It's because they rely on you, it's because they see something in you that makes them open up to you. So when you have a good name, trust is a very important factor, and you have to make sure that you don't tarnish your relationship, and people are able to trust you, even at work. Wherever you go, you know, amongst your peers, amongst your siblings, they have to be able to trust you, and then you become the go-to person for advice, for knowledge. You have to be straightforward. When you're straightforward, you're dependable. People depend on you. A good name is forever as well. We also talk about why a good name is important. A good name is forever. So after you are gone, after the riches and the wealth that are not here forever, after they are long gone, you know, people will remember you. I know my husband would always talk about a friend of his that at some point he had money, he was well-to-do, and he didn't help too many people while he was wealthy. But I guess he must have thought, you know, that he was going to be wealthy forever. So now, you know, it's real story. This guy is a Nigerian. There's a lot going on with him. When he tells me a story, I feel so bad, and I'm like, can people help him? Can this happen? But he said to me, you know, to be very honest with you, when he had it, he didn't show to anyone. Like I believe his brother came to live with him, and his brother had asked, you know, while you're in this line, you're a manager at this place, connect me, even if it's to drive someone, be a driver, you know, I can do this. I don't have to be driving you to work every day. While I drive you to work, I can take somebody else and